Certified most accurate. Now your TV5 First Alert forecast.
Well, good Wednesday evening, mid-Michigan. Across the area out there for us, we have pretty easygoing conditions overall. It's dry, the winds aren't very gusty out there, and we also have the clear-ish skies. We've got some passing clouds, but you may have noticed recently it's become a little bit more milky than it was earlier today. That's more of that wildfire smoke making its way into mid-Michigan, but we do continue the dry weather that we have and that we've had all day. Going into tomorrow, though, it's a different story. We're starting to work in another chance for showers. Here's a look at the forecast takeaways that we're keeping an eye on as we go throughout the next 7 days here. Again, the pleasant evening for us tonight. We've got the chance for rain going into tomorrow, which we'll talk more about here in just a moment. And we're warming up as we head into the weekend. Now, by warming up, I'm only talking the lower 80s, but it is definitely different than the 70s that we'll have for the rest of today and going into the next couple of days as well. Here's a look at your hourly trends, cooling down into the 60s by 10 and 11. As we get down into the early morning hours, we should find our way down into the lower and middle 50s for us, or a pretty average night for us overall. On the hour by hour, you'll notice that we continue with the dry weather going into the overnight hours. We're passing clouds, wildfire smoke still hanging on for us. But as we go into the morning hours, we do start to add in the chance for those showers. And overall, it's going to be scattered showers, but we will be adding in a few of those downpours at times that could give way to some very small hail, some thunder and lightning, and some of that heavier rain for a time. And that will start early in the morning, early to mid-morning, and then eventually work its way towards the east. And that'll include the Tri-Cities, the Thumb, down towards Flint, our northern counties as well. And that should continue off and on as we go throughout the mid-morning hours. And eventually we will likely see a break. And the hour by hour gets a little aggressive here as we go into the later afternoon and early evening hours. I do think we'll have a few more of these showers still moving throughout the area. But overall, I would expect that most of this activity should be focused in the Thumb and down towards Flint as we go into tomorrow evening. But nevertheless, we will still have some of those showers continuing to move through. Eventually, we'll watch as we clear out into the overnight hours of your Thursday, giving way to a very nice but cooler Friday for us before we warm up as we go into the weekend. Now, looking at how much rain we could pick up from these showers and storms moving through, it looks like for the most part, in general across mid-Michigan, about 1/10 of an inch is a good place to start. As we go further towards the east in portions of the Thumb, potentially down towards I-69, then we could start to see some more of those consistently run over areas with downpours. And what that means is the areas that see the downpours more consistently will have the opportunity to pick up closer to about 1/4 of an inch or potentially even more of that rain. But overall, we're not looking at too much as far as big totals that are really going to help our ongoing drought conditions. But we do have to start somewhere. Any amount of rain will help in the long run. Here's a look at the wildfire smoke tracker for right now. We've got more of that starting to work into mid-Michigan. Going into the overnight hours and into tomorrow, we continue to bring that down in from the north, and we'll have that holding true as we go throughout your Friday as well for parts of mid-Michigan. But otherwise, holding on to the drier conditions going forward. We'll have more of that sunshine going into the weekend and into next week as well. Lower 80s as we go into the weekend as well, holding into next week. The other thing that we're talking about here, the very dry weather after tomorrow. We could be working in a few chances for rain, but that likely will not come until the middle and end of next week.
Stay with WNEM TV5 on air, on the go, and online for more news and weather updates.